Hey everyone, we are living in some very difficult and tumultuous times, and I want to encourage you today to speak up. God needs you to speak up. He wants to use you. He wants to use your voice and your life to speak on behalf of Him and the Word and the gospel. Listen, these are not easy times, as you all know, but the reality is, times are not that different than they were when Paul the Apostle and the original 12 apostles were walking the earth. They're not that different than Old Testament times when great prophets of old walked the earth. And I want to highlight just one of the stories here, one of the many stories, where the modern world back then tried to silence believers and tried to silence Christians. And I hope this ministers to you. I want you to know that God wants to use you. Hey, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be a pastor, preacher, evangelist, prophet, apostle, teacher. No, if you're a child of God, if you're a believer, God wants to use you. He wants to use your voice. Listen here in Acts 18, Paul had been through some very difficult times. He is now in Corinth. He had already been beaten. He had been persecuted. He'd been robbed. He had been through a world of mess. And finally, Paul says, you know what? Forget it. He wipes his hands and he says, I'm done speaking about the Lord to you guys. I'm done speaking about the gospel and preaching the gospel to you guys. And right here in chapter 18, verse 9, Paul goes to bed and the Lord speaks to him in the midnight hour and he says, do not be afraid. I feel the Lord saying that to many of us today. Do not be afraid. It doesn't matter what you've been through. It doesn't matter all the trials and tribulations and the storms that have come. I mean, believe me, I'm not trying to minimize it. It does matter. But God is saying to us today the same thing He said to Paul. His words are echoing through heaven. And I can hear the Lord saying to us today, do not be afraid, but speak, He tells Paul. Speak and do not keep silent. I feel the Lord saying that to us today. Speak and do not keep silent. Listen to this. For I am with you. God is with you. Get that in your heart. Let that resonate within you. Let it resonate deep within you. God is with you. Okay? Do not keep silent, for I'm with you. No one will attack you or hurt you. For I have many people in this city that need to hear the message of the gospel. There are many people all around you today that need to hear the gospel message preached to them at your workplace, at your school, and your neighborhood, at the ball fields, wherever it is you do life. There are many people that need to hear the message of the cross, the message of Christ loves you. God wants you to speak on behalf of Him. Wow. God bless. Don't keep silent. Speak. God wants to use you.